Colorado and do Pikes Peak? Was it just a drunken sort of conversation at the start of it? We're here this afternoon with Damien Bradley. Damien has just returned from a superb adventure to Pikes Peak in Colorado. Damien, tell us a little bit about what made you want to go to Colorado and do Pikes Peak. Was it just a drunken sort of conversation at the start of it, or how did it
No,
come
not
about?
quite. I think Pikes Peak has been, like for many people, it's been something I've known about, been aware of. It's probably the most bonkers, I don't think probably, it is the most bonkers, insane hill climb on the face of the planet. And watching Ivatnan in the early days, seeing it when it was dirt, watching clips of it on the TV was just like, this thing is just incredible. It was never a dream for me, maybe to go along and spectate, but it was never something that I envisaged that I would end up doing. I only started hill climbing 6-7 years ago, so I've not been hill climbing awfully long. We've been developing a car that we built in a shed in Yorkshire. So why on earth would Pikes Peak be an option for me?
Yeah.
But here we are, we've done it.
Yeah, and done it very well with great publicity, I must say. So the actual car itself, a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Now, you say it was a £500 car in a shed. Okay.
Yeah.
A £500 car built in a shed by that man who's just walked along the back
that's
of us
it.
there.
Yeah, between myself and the man that walked
Yeah.
past. So so the Legacy was purchased online. Oh, it wasn't even online then. It was 15 years ago. It was an old lady locally that was using it as her shopping car. It was £500. The big attraction for me was that it was the non-sunroof model. So I wanted the chassis rigidity. We then built it up and we used it for some time attack. Put a roll cage in it, which is an extended part of the story, but put a roll cage in it that we thought was amazing at the time. Went off and did some time attack with Stephen Darley supporting me with the car, and time attack was the thing we'd seen in magazines, and that was where we wanted to be. We did 3 years of time attack and it was fantastic, and then Stephen was off doing hill climbs and he said, you really need to come and have a go at this. I went along and spectated at Doon in Scotland and it scared the life out of me. I just couldn't. I thought it's such a narrow strip of tarmac, there's no room for error, cars have got big power. I watched his car sort of wiggle up through the Armco's at Doon and I was just like, this really isn't for me. And that was it. The following year, Hill Climb Monsters got in touch with me. They'd seen the car in time attack and said that we're doing an event at Shelsley Walsh called Retro Rides. Come along to that. You can run up the hill as much as you want all day, see if it's for you, and then go from there. Take passengers. Yeah. And that's what I ended up doing.
Shelsley Walsh,
yes,
the oldest hill climb venue in the UK.
Indeed, yeah.
If not the world.
In the world, in the world. The oldest unchanged motorsport venue in the world.
Yeah.
So.
And the whole hill climb world in the UK is very small, isn't it? I say world, but I mean the actual knowledge of hill climbing. A lot of people, when you talk about hill climbing, they still think it's driving over a muddy track, don't they?
Indeed.
Of course it's not, is it?
No.
It's far more intense. The actual spectators, even though we get spectators here in the UK, the spectator following on the continent, and I would imagine at Pikes Peak, must have been blowing your mind.
It's incredible. On the Friday evening at Pikes Peak, we have something called Fan Fest. So these are all fans of the Pikes Peak hill climb event. 35,000 people attend Colorado Springs city centre to come and meet the drivers for autographs and everything else. And I'm not the kind of guy who used to giving out autographs, but 350 autographs on that one evening was just insane. And it really brought home to me how, this is the origin of hill climbing in the world. It's in the UK. We need to make more noise about it. It's ripe for social media. 60-second runs, 38 seconds runs here today. The single-seater stuff. Alex Summers is doing a wonderful job of on social media or on Instagram, showing the world what hill climbing is all about. I just wish more of us would get behind that. And show people that the likes of Wiscombe is such an incredible venue, so welcoming, such lovely people. Come here, have a go. You can turn up in your road car. There's a road car class. Get your license. It's all very straightforward. It is accessible.
It is, yeah. So, Pikes Peak, the logistics of getting there, that must have been phenomenal.
Yeah, so I think there's probably a little bit in here that I'm not getting back from the stress of getting the car there. The car turned up, so the car was due to be in Denver in Colorado 2 weeks before we arrived. It arrived 4 hours before we got there. So it was really close, it was really tight. It was very stressful, lots of work goes into it in terms of customs clearance and things like that. But also preparing the car for the event itself. It's a very different event, so the roll cage all had to be amended. The whole thing, it was just such a huge project, and ultimately I have a fantastic team. The guys are all great with the car, but the organisation side of it was just me whilst doing a full-time job and dad, wife, kids, you know, the whole thing. So yeah, the logistics is something that could probably break a lot of people.
And we're now in the end of July and the car's still not quite back yet.
Not quite.
No, so
no, so it's on the Atlantic Ocean at the moment. It was due in on the 31st of July. It's now due in on the 2nd or 3rd of August. The plan or the hope, I mean, it would have been incredible to have it here at Wiscombe. That would have been fantastic. But it's now looking more like I might make Shelsley, which is quite nice, because when I took the closed car record at Shelsley, that was kind of the start of the ball rolling for Pikes Peak. I then became an ambassador for Alcon Brakes, and then the next chapter was, let's maybe think about doing Pikes Peak. So to bring the car back and go back to Shelsley, kind of quite fitting.
Yeah. So how big was your team that you had out there?
So the core team was only, there was about 6 or 7 of us in the core team, but there were 26 of us out there. We went out for, it was my birthday when we were there, we went out for a meal, and there were 20, 25, 26 of us. So my wife and my kids, my mum and dad came out, and dad doesn't do motorsport, but he had to be a part of this. Some of the big mentions were obviously Stephen Darley and Emma Darley and their family. They came out, and James Darley, they're incredible. They spanner the car. Matt Clark from a company called Roger Clark Motorsport. They're kind of the worldwide experts in Subarus. And Matt Clark came out to support as well. Darren Gumbly and Paul Jones, who are regular single-seater competitors in the British Hillclimb Championship, they gave up their entry to Doon, got on a flight, came across. It was incredible having them there. And then AET Turbos, who were the sponsor of the Tin Top Challenge, Andy and Archie, they came out as well. So there was a few others. Mike Geen from Harewood, he came out, and Little Trev.
I hope you didn't end up with a bar bill.
Yeah, the bar bills weren't too. We all went out for a drink afterwards, and it was well earned. The work that goes into Pikes Peak is insane. We were so exhausted. The hours are crazy. You've got altitude issues. You've got time change from the UK, and then we're getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go up and test. You have to be off the mountain by 9 o'clock in the morning for them to open it as a toll road and charge $18 per person to do.
So how many runs at the hill do you get? I mean, obviously you say you get up there to test.
Yep.
And then moving on to the
one single timed run.
And that's
so
it.
You get one single timed run, and it all depends on the weather.
Yeah.
So it's a bit windy here today. It's not too bad at all. There was 80 mile an hour winds at the top of the mountain on race day with 120 mile an hour gusts. All the portaloos had blown over, so there was a sea of blue all the way up the top of the mountain and whatever else was in there. So there were rocks and boulders blowing down onto the racetrack or to the road, so that's why they then cut the hill in half. So we ended up running halfway, which was frustrating because the Legacies thing is a bit like here at Wiscombe, it's the twisties. So going through the S's here is where the Legacy and Stevens in Brexit does its thing. The responsiveness out corners is phenomenal. We didn't get to do that part of Pikes Peak, which is a little bit frustrating.
It's a shame, really, isn't it?
It is, but the result of 21st overall out of 76 competitors. Third place in class out of, I think it was 14 in TA1, which is kind of the road car class or modified production kind of class. So the team did incredible. I think we did very, very well for a rookie team.
So the place has a lot of celebrity status to it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Did you meet Michelle Mouton?
I didn't get to meet Michelle Mouton, unfortunately. So I know Dave Rowe, who's another competitor from the UK, drives an Audi. There's obviously a big connection there. They had a chat, and I think so Michelle Mouton signed Dave's dashboard. So that would have been amazing. That would have been fantastic.
Nice,
but Romain Damas was there. I had a good chat with him. We actually stayed in the house that he stayed in when he was running the IDR.
Right.
So the outright record holder. So the house that he stayed in was then, it's changed ownership now, and we were fortunate enough to stay there. When I showed him a picture of the house, he was like, "Oh my God, that's my house. I want to stay there again." Simone Fagioli and Diego that competed with him, great guys, such lovely guys. They did incredibly well. And then Amelia, we mentioned earlier, so she was there as well. Big Instagram and Facebook following.
Following, a lot of people have that.
So there's a lot of that. And then Rob Holland, who was my mentor for the event. So Rob Holland did some British touring cars back 2013, 2014, that sort of era. Rob's, an absolute hero. He was so good. He was so helpful. He couldn't do enough. He transported the car. He was fantastic. So yeah, there's some of the others, celebrities there that are the drivers are just. It's an insane event, and you have to be pretty crazy to give it a go. But
you've done it. Are you going to do it again?
So 2027 would be the dream. Funding would be something that we need to look at. I've self-funded a huge amount of what we did this year. I can't justify the budget of doing it again, and I think that if I work with some of my sponsors, they can get a huge amount out of this. We can really get this out in the media. We can make a big deal out of it, and we can have another go in 2027. I think the team would love to go back. I think we've unfinished business. The dream would be to win TA1 and also take the Subaru record. So 1036 was the Subaru record, and I think if we could go under that, that would be quite a big deal. I have support now from Subaru UK. We've been working with Subaru UK. We were up at World Superbike with them. So it'd be really nice to do something with the Subaru brand and try and take that record. Our sector times show that we could do that. We were on the money for that. I work with Nova as well, so we're hoping that we can have good success with the tyres. I think everybody in the hill climb world at the moment is hoping that Nova's going to bring something great in tyres. So let's see how that goes.
So thank you for taking the time to have a little chat with us.
Thank you.
Again, always good to see you down here at Wiscombe.
Thank you.
Shane the Pikes Peak. I'm going to call it the Pikes Peak car from now on. The legacy wasn't here. You had a good day today, though. You
did.
Set the fastest time in the Tin Top 10 challenge.
Yes.
I think I said that right.
You did indeed. You got that right.
And that was really, really good as well to see that.
It was super exciting. As it isn't
your normal car. You're out of your normal car.
Well, they say, is it a hire car or a borrowed car is the quickest car? So it doesn't belong to me. So I grabbed Stephen's car. Stephen's been amazing. He's co-drived the Legacy for many years now. We've developed that together. So it was only fair that when he then built his car, that we would go out and we would test it and develop it. I wasn't convinced massively when we were at some of the previous events. We went to Harewood and the car I thought it was the Legacy 60mm longer, and I thought it was the wheelbase that was maybe the issue. But we've seen here today the Red Baron absolutely flies. So my fastest time I've done here was a 40.35, and I've done a 38.8 today in his car. So I'll take that every day of the week.
You've tuned into it. Well, as I say, thank you very much. Hopefully what you're doing, your endeavours, what you're doing will actually highlight to the British public the fact that hill climbing is a great sport. It's a superbly accessible sport. you know, as you say, you started out with a £500 car and you went to Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
And that
There you go.
in itself
Hopefully
is a
that's
story.
inspiring. Hopefully that gives people an opportunity. You know, start at any age. My son's 15 years old. He's just got his race license. He's going to do a couple of auto solos, and then I want to see him on the hills. So that's the thing for me. I'm not sure about giving him the keys to the legacy just yet.
No, hold off for a while.
Let's see how he goes.
Right. Thank you very much.
Great stuff.
Right.
Good.
Lovely.